In the middle of deep space, far from Earth, something strange happened. A signal was received on every major planet. It was not a normal message. It was something different. The message was sent from the royal house of Valeria, a powerful alien empire known for mystery and silence. For hundreds of years, no human had seen a Valerian without armor or a mask. They were secretive, proud, and very dangerous. The message was short but shocking. To save peace in this galaxy, we offer a sacred bond, a marriage with our princess. But there is one condition: no one must ever see her face. The news spread fast. Every leader, every commander, every species heard the offer. At first, people thought it was a trick, a test. Some thought it was a trap. But the Valerians were serious. The princess was ready to marry, but her face must stay hidden, forever. Many powerful men and women were interested. After all, the Valerians had advanced technology, powerful ships, and knowledge that could help any empire grow. But when they heard the rule about the face, they all refused. Why hide her face? What if she is cursed? What if she is not even alive? Rumors started. Some said her face caused death. Others believed anyone who looked at her went mad. Some said she wasn't even real. In the middle of this chaos, one human stepped forward. His name was Captain Raylan Ward, a former soldier, now a quiet explorer. He had seen war, lost friends, and traveled beyond the known systems. He was not rich, not famous, but he was brave. When the council asked him why he agreed, he gave a simple answer. I want to know what's behind the veil, not with my eyes, but with my mind. People laughed at him. Some called him a fool. Others warned him. You don't know what you're walking into, Raylan. No one sees her face and survives. But Raylan didn't change his mind. He signed the bond agreement. A spaceship was prepared. Destination, Valeria Prime, home of the hidden princess. As he stood at the spaceport, ready to leave, a reporter asked him one last question. Aren't you afraid? He smiled, not with pride, but with curiosity. Yes, he said, but I'm more afraid of never knowing the truth. The ship's engines started. The door closed, and as the stars stretched in front of him, Raylan felt it, a quiet whisper in his mind, a voice he had never heard before. You came human. Let's see how long you survive. And with that, the journey began. To the princess with the hidden face. To a bond no one dared to accept. To a secret darker than space itself. The journey to Valeria Prime took 3 days in hyperspace. Captain Raylan Ward sat alone in the ship's main cabin, watching the stars fly past like glowing rivers. He had traveled through many systems before, but this time felt different. This time, he was going toward the unknown. Valeria Prime was not just another alien world. It was a place humans only knew through legends. A planet covered in silver oceans, floating mountains, and glowing towers that touched the clouds. No outsider had ever set foot on it. Until now, as the ship entered Valerian space, the screens flickered. A cold voice echoed through the speakers. Human vessel, you are entering royal territory. Prepare for descent. Do not look outside your window. Do not speak unless spoken to. Raylan nodded. He knew this wasn't a normal welcome. This was a test or maybe a warning. The ship landed in silence. No crowd, no music, only guards in shining black armor, their faces hidden behind smooth masks. They moved like shadows, fast and quiet. One of them stepped forward. Come. Raylan followed through a long glass hallway. The air felt heavy, like it was full of secrets. Lights above glowed softly, changing colors with every step. He felt like the walls were watching him. Then, they reached a tall golden door. You will now meet the princess, the guard said. Do not ask to see her face. Do not touch her. Do not speak first. The door opened with a low hum. Inside was a round chamber, full of silver mist. At the center stood a tall figure. She wore a long robe made of shimmering cloth, like liquid stars. Her face was completely covered by a silver veil. The alien princess. Raylan's heart beat faster, not from fear, but curiosity. She turned slightly, as if looking at him through the veil. The room became completely quiet. Then, a voice entered his mind. Soft, calm, strange. You are not what I expected. Raylan didn't answer out loud. He wasn't sure how. You are the only one who accepted. Why? He cleared his throat. I want to understand what others fear. The princess was silent. Then her voice returned, only in his mind. Most who come here want power, fame, or control. But you want truth. Raylan took a step forward, just one. The guards behind him moved, but the princess raised her hand slightly, stopping them. Let him speak. Raylan looked at the veil. He wanted to ask 100 questions, but he only said one thing. Are you cursed? The silence was long. Then the voice came again, this time colder. No, I am the curse. Before he could react, the chamber lights blinked. A strange energy filled the air, like the room itself had come alive. And in that moment, Raylan understood something. This was not just a marriage. It was a trap, or a test. Maybe both. But there was no turning back now. Captain Raylan didn't sleep that night. The princess's words kept echoing in his head. I am the curse. He tried to forget it, but the silence of the palace made it worse. No one spoke. No music. No laughter. Only whispers behind walls. Whispers he wasn't sure were real. The next morning, 2 guards entered his room. The bonding trial begins. Follow us. Raylan followed without question. He knew this was part of the agreement. Before the marriage, he had to prove his mind and heart were strong. They took him to a circular chamber made of black stone. In the center was a large pool of silver liquid. It moved like it was alive. The princess was already there, standing beside a tall figure, the High Oracle of Valeria. He had no face, only a floating crown of light above his head. The bonding trial, the Oracle said, is not of body but of spirit. If your heart is weak, you will fail. If your mind is broken, you will not return. Raylan nodded. He was ready. Or at least he thought he was. Step into the pool. Without hesitation, Raylan stepped into the silver liquid. It was warm, then cold, then darkness. Suddenly, he was not in the chamber anymore. He stood in a burning forest. Trees screamed. The sky was blood red. Ahead of him, a child cried for help. It was his little brother, the one he lost in the Earth Wars. Raylan, why did you leave me? He ran forward, but the ground cracked, and the boy vanished into fire. Then the scene changed. Now he stood on a battlefield. His old crew, his dead friends. They looked at him with empty eyes. Why did you survive, Captain? His knees hit the ground. Pain filled his chest. Was this real? Was this a dream? This is your fear, a soft voice whispered. Face it, or fall. It was her, the princess. But how? She wasn't in the trial, was she? Why are you in my mind? Raylan asked. Because you let me in, she replied. Then he saw her, a blurry image through the smoke. Still veiled. Still silent. But somehow, comforting. You feel pain, human, but you don't run from it. That is rare. What is this place? He asked. A mirror, she said. Of your soul. One by one, the ghosts disappeared. The fire faded. The forest healed. Raylan stood again. You passed, the princess said. In a flash, he was back in the black stone chamber, silver liquid dripping from his clothes. The oracle smiled. You did not break. The princess looked at him. For the first time, she stepped closer. Your heart is damaged, but not weak. Raylan breathed deeply. He didn't understand everything, but he understood this much. She had seen inside him, and he had seen something inside her too, even through the veil. And whatever was coming next, it would not be easy, but it would be real. After the bonding trial, Raylan was allowed to stay in the eastern tower of the royal palace, alone. The palace was beautiful but cold. Its halls were quiet. Its mirrors never reflected anything clearly. The walls whispered at night, and the stars above Valeria Prime never blinked. There was no sunrise, only soft blue light that never changed. Days passed. Raylan didn't see the princess again. Not in person. But he started hearing her. First, he thought it was just dreams. Soft whispers in the dark, right before he fell asleep. "You survived the trial? But do you still trust me?" He would wake up confused, heart racing. Her voice was in his mind. Not loud, not scary, but always clear. Then one night he answered her back. Not with words, just a thought. "Why are you hiding?" There was silence. He thought she was gone. But the next night she returned. "Because the truth is heavier than the veil." The voice wasn't cold anymore. It was softer now, curious. Like she was opening up slowly. Every night they spoke like this. In thoughts, in feelings. She told him about the palace, the sky, and her people. But never about her face. Or the curse. Raylan didn't push. He waited. But not everyone was happy about their connection. One morning, a tall alien man entered Raylan's chamber uninvited. His skin was silver blue. His eyes were sharp. "I am Lord Kale, first cousin to the princess." Raylan stood up. "You're not welcome here," he said. Kale smiled coldly. "Neither are you, human. You think she speaks to you because she likes you? You think you're special?" Raylan didn't answer. "Many have tried before you. Stronger, smarter. Some were even royalty. They all failed." He stepped closer. "And do you know what happened to them?" Raylan stared at him. "They looked," Kale whispered. "They disobeyed. And they died." The air felt cold suddenly. Kale turned to leave. "She's not your fairy tale. She's not your reward. She is a prison. And you're walking into it with open eyes." That night, Raylan asked her in thought, "Is it true? Did others die trying to see you?" She didn't reply at first. But when she did, her voice was filled with sadness. "Yes, they forced the veil off. They didn't listen. They didn't wait." "And they died?" he asked. "No," she said. "They screamed. And they changed. Into something not alive. And not dead." Raylan's blood ran cold. "What are you, princess?" There was a pause. "I don't know anymore." Even though he was lying in a warm bed, Raylan felt like he was falling into something deeper. This wasn't just a political marriage. This was something ancient, something broken, something hidden behind centuries of silence. And he, the only human to ever come this close, might be the only one able to unlock it, or be consumed by it. The nights on Valeria Prime had changed. Captain Raylan now waited for the darkness. Not to sleep, but to speak. Every night, the princess whispered into his thoughts. No one else knew. No one else heard. He never saw her, but he felt her. And night by night, it felt less like a curse and more like connection. Until one evening, something happened. He was walking alone through the palace garden. A place filled with glowing blue flowers and trees that whispered like wind chimes. It was the only place that felt alive. Then he heard it. Not her voice. Not her thoughts. Crying. Soft. Close. Real. He followed the sound to a small mirror room. One he hadn't seen before. The door was half open. Raylan stepped in slowly. In the center of the room stood the princess, alone. She had removed her veil. She was facing away, looking at her reflection. Her long hair flowed like light. Her skin shimmered like stars. He couldn't see her face, not yet. Raylan froze. He knew he should leave. He knew the rules. But his foot hit a loose stone. Click. The princess turned. Just a little. Just enough. Raylan saw only a piece of her face in the mirror, her eye. And everything changed. For a moment, time stopped. The room began to shake. The mirrors cracked. His vision blurred. His thoughts split in two. Pain struck his head like thunder. Then silence. The princess spun around, veil already back in place. Her voice filled his mind, louder than ever before. "Why did you look?" Raylan dropped to his knees, gripping his head. "I didn't mean to. I didn't." The room faded. He passed out. He woke up in a dark chamber. Alone. A strange mark had appeared on his hand. A glowing line shaped like an eye. It pulsed softly, in rhythm with his heartbeat. The princess was gone, but she left a memory behind. Raylan could now feel pieces of her, emotions, fragments of her past. Pain, loneliness, fear, and power, ancient power. He saw flashes, a war that happened long ago. Valerian scientists experimenting with forbidden energy. A weapon, a virus, a royal child born with something unnatural in her blood. She was never cursed. She was the curse. A living being who could destroy minds with a glance. A walking weapon hidden behind silk and rules. Trained to feel nothing. Raised to be silent. And now, for the first time, someone had seen her, even a glimpse. You should not have survived. Her voice came to him again, weak but real. But you did. Raylan sat in the dark, the mark on his hand glowing brighter. What does it mean? He asked. It means the bond has begun, she said. And now, nothing will ever be the same. The palace was no longer quiet. Guards moved faster. Voices were raised. Secret meetings happened behind closed doors. The peaceful silence of Valeria Prime had broken, and it all began the moment Raylan saw the princess's face. Even though it was just one second, it had changed something. Raylan now carried a glowing mark on his hand, a sign that he had been touched by the princess's true self. No one else on Valeria had this mark, not even her own blood, and the elders were afraid. The human is changing her, they whispered. He has seen what no one else has. If the bond completes, the curse may break or spread. Meanwhile, the princess avoided Raylan. She no longer spoke into his thoughts. She stayed hidden. The connection they once shared was silent. But danger was growing. One evening, Lord Kale returned, and this time he did not come alone. Ships filled the sky. Soldiers lined the palace walls. Kale stood before the council with cold fire in his eyes. The wedding must not happen, he said. The human has broken the rules. He has seen the princess's face. The council murmured. The oracle did not speak. He has bonded with her in a forbidden way, Kale continued. If we let this continue, we risk another war, or worse. Raylan stood calmly. I never meant to look, he said. But what I saw wasn't death. It was pain. And truth. Kale laughed bitterly. You think love will fix this? You are not special, human. You are just another fool trying to tame a storm. Raylan stepped forward. Maybe, but I'm the only one who didn't run. Silence. Then, a voice filled the chamber. Soft, calm, but strong. Enough. It was her. The princess had arrived. She stood in full royal armor, veil in place, her presence glowing. She looked at Raylan, and then at Kale. This wedding will happen. The council gasped. He carries the mark, she continued. The bond has started. I choose to finish it. Kale clenched his fists. Then you choose war. He turned and left. That night, the skies above Valeria turned red. Kale's loyalists attacked. Energy blasts lit the sky. Ships crashed. The palace shook. Raylan fought beside the royal guards, defending the gates. But the enemy was strong. Too strong. Then, in the heart of the battle, he saw her. The princess, standing on the balcony, arms raised. She removed her veil. Her eyes glowed like stars. Her face was calm and powerful. Time slowed. Enemy soldiers stopped moving. Ships fell quiet. Even Kale, charging forward, froze in place. Then, with a single whisper, her voice echoed across the battlefield. Enough! Everyone dropped to their knees. The battle ended. But Raylan didn't kneel. He stood, the mark on his hand now burning with light. She looked at him, face still uncovered, and smiled for the first time. You saw me, and you didn't break. Raylan stepped forward. Neither did you. And in that moment, everyone understood. This wasn't just a marriage. It was a beginning, or the calm before something even greater. The palace stood silent after the battle. Lord Kale had been taken away. His soldiers surrendered. The skies of Valeria turned back to silver blue, and peace returned, for now. But something had changed. The princess no longer hid completely. She still wore her veil, but now her presence was different. Stronger, warmer, alive. Raylan walked beside her through the royal halls. No one stopped them. The same people who once feared her now bowed with respect. The day of the wedding arrived. Every leader from every planet in the galaxy was invited. Thousands gathered in the Grand Hall of Valeria, a place made of crystal, stars shining through the ceiling. The air was heavy with silence. Waiting. At the center stood Raylan and the princess. The oracle appeared. "Before the bond is complete," he said, "there is one last question." He turned to Raylan. "Will you take this vow, knowing you may never see her face again?" Raylan looked at the princess. He already knew the answer. "I already have." The oracle then turned to the princess. "And you, my lady, will you keep the veil, or will you unveil before the galaxy?" Silence. Everyone leaned forward. Then, slowly, the princess lifted her hands. Her fingers touched the edge of the veil. And after so many years, she removed it. There was no scream, no death, no madness, only stillness. She was beautiful, but not in the way legends said. Her face glowed. Yes, but it was full of pain, strength, wisdom, and fire. Not just beauty, truth. Her eyes met the crowd. Some cried. Some smiled. Some looked away, afraid of what they might feel. But Raylan looked directly at her and took her hand. "This is who you are," he whispered. "And it's enough." Suddenly, the mark on his hand shined brighter. So did her skin. A wave of light spread across the hall. A hum echoed. The veil didn't just fall from her face. It fell from the minds of everyone present. They saw her, truly, and they saw themselves. Their fears, their mistakes, their history. It wasn't her face that was dangerous. It was what she carried inside. A mirror, a key, a living truth. After the wedding, peace between empires became stronger than ever. The Valerians opened their world. The curse was never real. It was fear, tradition, and silence passed down for generations. And the one who broke it was human. Not because of his strength, not because of his title, but because he listened and didn't run.